What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Gotham here. I'm excited to be back. I think all the subscribers that came out and checked out this video, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe on your way out and off to the races. This is episode 46. We're going to try something new. Deal or no deal? We're going to basically judge the Cavs that's coming out this fall. I'm excited to see the home arcade community back in full effect. All the podcasters is definitely putting out the news, and I want to thank all of them for doing so. So let's start with the first Cav. The first one I want to start with is Arcade 1-Up Neo Pac-Man Edition Deluxe. What do I have to say for Pac-Man? Pac-Man has been around since 2018, and before that, back to the 80s of 1980. We have seen Pac-Man be reintroduced and packaged in so many different ways, but I have to say the only thing that is appetizing to me is the artwork. The artwork is beautiful. I believe under the black light, that color, that artwork, and the trim will glow in your room, your basement cave, boiler room, attic, garage, wherever. But beyond that, it still has the same 12 to 14 games as every other Pac-Man that came out, like the Pac-Mania, the Pac-Man Plus, the Pac-Man Deluxe, Pac-Man XL. It's no different. All you're doing is getting a different package. And for $499, I say no deal. This is not a Cav I see myself getting at all. I wish anyone the best of luck. And if you love that Cav, it's all you. But I kid you not, this is not something that as a enthusiast in this community for the last 6 years will basically get his hands on. So I'm going to skip that and move on. The next Cav will be, the next company will be is Iconic Arcade. Now, we have been hearing in the pipeline that this Cav, it's been so many words on this Cav. The company Iconic has basically introduced the Street Fighter Alpha 2 and the Street Fighter Road Warrior. Now, these are 9/10 scales. These are like an XL. If you have an At Games Legend, this is where it puts you. This is how big this Cav is. It's just tall, maybe a little bit taller, but it's just as wide. And I agree that this is something I'm definitely interested in. I definitely put a partial payment on this Cav because I wanted to see more. So if I change my mind, I can at least get my partial payment back. But we haven't heard any words about this cabinet since July. You know, we haven't heard anything from John D. We haven't heard anything from Iconic. We're getting sneaks and peeks of what this Cav is supposed to look like. But it's still a must. It's still a deal for me because I think this Cav has a lot of upside to downside. I see that this Cav is bringing out a new game, the Alpha Edition, which we haven't seen in the home arcade community. I know a lot of people was raving and pissed off that the Road Warrior artwork was not dimensionally set to the arcade model. But at the same time, you are getting a XL version of Street Fighter that Arcade 1-Up wasn't able to produce for us. So I think there's an upside to this. So I say, if you're thinking about getting this Cav, I say it is a deal for this Cav. The last Cav and the last company I'm going with is definitely Basic Funds. This is the hype of the winter going into the Christmas and holiday season. Now they basically they're basically introducing us with the WWF or WWE WrestleFest Cav. We have seen clips in everybody's podcast over the last day or two. As far as the lineup, we don't know if the Road Warriors or AKA the Legion of Doom is in it. We don't know if Sergeant Slaughter is in it. We know that they got most of the licensed characters in it, but there's some things that might offset some people. Now, they are coming out with 2 different versions of this Cav. They're coming out with a deluxe form factor. I think they call it an ultimate. And then they come in with an XL form factor with 4 players with it. Now, the 4 players, you get 4 players. I think it'll be built like the Ultimate Legends. Not as big screen. I think it'll be like around 19 to 21 inches. I'm not sure. It will have a coin door. It will have a lighter marquee. It'll have all 4 joysticks. We don't know how big is the control panel. We will hope it's as big as the quad deck for the At Games Legends, but we're still waiting for word to come down the pipeline. But at the same time, I'm definitely interested in this cab because RK1 wasn't able to pull this license out years earlier, and had they did, I'd have been the first one to buy it like a lot of others. Hopefully they was able to attain all the license for all the characters for the game, because even though they had to change up some things, I would hope the characters is not the thing they had to change. Now, on the pictures, on the renders, you notice it only has WW, and it doesn't have the F with it. They kind of blurred it out. They had to go through the source code and get rid of the F. But I believe on the cabinet art, they did the same thing. You know, a lot of third parties is going to sell the artwork and the new lighter marquee plexi to basically give everybody that WWF feel. So you still have the feeling of nostalgia for this cab, even though it might not have the WWF in the ring. But they're coming out with other cabs like the Centipede Asteroid cab, which we saw renders of that. I think that looks kind of smooth. But if you have the 12-in-1 Unicorn, or there was another cab that came out, and I'm lost on the top of my head, you might consider converting over. But for me personally, that's not a cab I want. It is a lot taller and it looks a lot bigger, but that's not a cab I'm interested in. I'm definitely interested in that Jedi cab, that Star Wars Jedi cab. I think that will be something, a plus that I will be adding. So that will be a buy for me. As far as what games is in it, hopefully they'll have more than the 3 games that RK1 has. And I think we're getting a sneak peek of what Spy Hunter, Road Blaster, that cab shape, that Star Wars Jedi cab is basically the same mirror as those cabs. So we might be getting some sneak peek for 2026 as far as what the body art might look for and what games might be coming. We've seen Pac-Man Jr. That is something I'm not interested in. Even if I had a little kid, I'm not getting that. And there was another game towards it as well, but I'm not really sure what it is. And I'm not really interested in that either. So at the end of the day, I think when we look at the cabs, I'm definitely interested in that WWF cab. I think that's going to be one of the cabs that will stroke a lot of ego. I know a lot of people were really turned off, my mistake, about how the cabs look and what games listed it. And speaking of the missing cab, it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cab, the TNNT cab. That cab is going to definitely come out in a 4-player, and I do like the games list that's coming with it. So I'm definitely interested in that one. I might get the 2-player cab because the simple fact, I already got the 4-player cab from Wave 3 from RK1 Up. So to get extra games, I'm want to see one of the games that's supposed to be a console ROM, but it's supposed to have 6 buttons, but on the panel for the cabinet it only has 2. So we'll have to wait and see what happens down the road. So when it comes to basic funds, yes, it is a must-buy for the WWF, the Star Wars Jedi cab, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cab. Outside of that, I don't see anything else that is appetizing. I know they got countercades and they got the Pac-Man Jr., but I don't feel interested. So appreciate you coming to this kind of content. I thank everybody for coming out and enjoying this kind of content. And I will see everybody down the road in the next video. Peace!